Imagine a world where each state's government stands alone, crafting its own policy and destiny. Currently, U.S. states operate as semi-autonomous entities but are united under a federal government that oversees national policy in crucial areas such as defense, foreign relations, and trade. This union fosters a shared identity and resources, yet it often obscures the unique characteristics of each state. Independence could potentially amplify local voices but may also bring about the challenges observed in fragmented nations. Let's consider the economic landscape if states functioned independently from one another. States like New York and California, with their robust economies, might appear well suited for sovereignty. However, smaller or economically less diverse states could face difficulties without federal aid. A significant hurdle would be whether to establish individual currencies or to adopt a common one. Tailoring economic policies to local needs could spark innovation and responsiveness to local conditions. Conversely, a lack of economic diversification could expose states to vulnerabilities during global economic shifts. Moreover, the emergence of interstate trade barriers could echo the complex trade relationships once seen in the European Union before the single market, potentially stifling economic growth and complicating logistics and supply chains that were previously streamlined under federal regulations. In this hypothetical scenario, each state would be tasked with establishing its own trade policies and diplomatic relations. States like Washington and Louisiana, which rely heavily on international trade, would find themselves needing to negotiate their own trade agreements, a complex and potentially fraught endeavor. Diplomatically, states might form alliances based on regional proximity or economic interests, akin to international organizations like the European Union or ASEAN. Yet the absence of a unified foreign policy could lead to diplomatic friction or even conflicts due to divergent interests. While the lack of a central policy could allow states to adopt diplomatic and trade strategies that better suit their local industries and populations, this fragmentation could also diminish the collective bargaining power that the U.S. currently wields on the global stage. On the defense front, in a world where each state acts as its own country, they would need to fend for themselves or form defensive pacts with neighbors. States hosting military bases and assets might claim them, yet the distribution of national military resources could become a contentious issue. Security concerns would likely escalate, as states with lesser military capabilities might find it challenging to defend against external threats. This scenario could trigger an arms race among the states or necessitate the formation of a new type of collective defense agreement, similar to NATO or other defensive alliances. Additionally, states would need to establish their own security protocols and intelligence services, potentially leading to a patchwork of security standards and heightened vulnerability to threats. The shift to state sovereignty would necessitate profound legal and constitutional reforms. Each state would need to draft its own constitution, and laws currently under federal jurisdiction would need to be re-evaluated and possibly rewritten. This legal restructuring would extend to every aspect of governance, from criminal law to environmental regulations. States would also have to establish their own supreme courts, potentially leading to a diverse legal landscape across what was once the United States. Comparatively, states would look towards the federal system as a blueprint, but could also innovate based on local needs and ideologies. This could lead to significant legal experimentation, with states adopting radically different legal systems based on their cultural and societal priorities. The societal implications of each state becoming an independent nation are profound. Identity, which has been both American and state-specific, would likely shift towards a stronger state nationalism. This could enhance local culture and pride but might also exacerbate regional differences. Social policies could drastically diverge, reflecting the predominant values and demographics of each new country. For instance, states like Massachusetts might pursue more progressive social policies, while others might take more conservative stances. This could lead to a mosaic of social norms across the former U.S. The fragmentation could also affect social mobility. The ease of moving between states, currently taken for granted, could be hindered by new immigration laws and differing residency rights, potentially limiting job opportunities and personal freedom. As independent entities, states would need to manage and maintain infrastructure that was previously under federal oversight, such as interstate highways and national parks. Coordination over shared resources like water bodies and energy grids would require new agreements, potentially leading to disputes. States heavily reliant on federal funds for infrastructure projects would face significant challenges. They would need to develop new funding mechanisms, possibly through increased taxes or international loans, which could strain their economies. Moreover, the management of disaster response, currently coordinated at the federal level, would need rethinking. States like Florida and California, frequently hit by natural disasters, would need robust systems to manage these challenges independently. Environmental policy could take divergent paths as states prioritize different aspects of environmental protection based on their specific circumstances and ideologies. States might choose to enforce stricter regulations than those previously mandated by federal law, or conversely, they might relax rules to attract business. The lack of a united stance on global issues like climate change could weaken the overall effectiveness of environmental initiatives. Coordination on cross-border environmental issues such as air pollution and river management could become contentious without a federal mediator. However, this could also lead to innovative environmental solutions tailored to local ecosystems, potentially serving as models for sustainable development that could be replicated elsewhere. Education and healthcare systems, which are already partly managed by states, would see significant changes. States could tailor their educational curricula and healthcare policies to better reflect local values and needs, potentially leading to higher satisfaction. However, disparities in education and healthcare quality could widen, with wealthier states potentially offering better services than poorer counterparts. This could exacerbate social inequalities and lead to a brain drain, where talent moves to states with better services. Furthermore, states would lose federal financial support for these sectors, necessitating the creation of new funding mechanisms, which might include higher taxes or more private sector involvement. Economic case studies: California, Texas, and Vermont. California, as a standalone entity, would rank among the world's largest economies. It could leverage its technology and entertainment industries to form a strong, innovative economy. However, it would face challenges related to water resources and infrastructure funding. Moving to Texas with its vast oil reserves, the state could thrive as an energy exporter. Yet it would need to navigate the global oil market independently, facing volatile prices and international competition. Vermont, being smaller and less diverse economically, could struggle with the loss of federal funds. It might focus on niche markets like tourism and artisan products to bolster its economy, but would likely face significant economic challenges. In making global comparisons, these hypothetical independent states can be contrasted with existing small nations offering valuable insights. For example, Singapore and Luxembourg thrive despite their small sizes, focusing on niche sectors and strategic economic planning. However, countries like Monaco or Liechtenstein might provide cautionary tales on the limits of small-scale independence. These comparisons suggest that while small nations can prosper, they often rely heavily on specific economic strategies and international cooperation, elements that newly independent states would need to develop rapidly. The psychological impact on citizens of newly sovereign states could be significant. National identity might strengthen within individual states, but a sense of loss regarding a collective American identity could lead to cultural and emotional adjustments. The transition could stimulate a strong sense of local governance and empowerment, but might also incite anxiety and uncertainty about the future, affecting mental health and social cohesion. This exploration into the hypothetical independence of U.S. states reveals a complex tapestry of potential benefits and significant challenges. While tailored governance could empower local populations and potentially lead to innovative solutions, economic fragmentation, legal complexities, and security concerns present formidable obstacles. The feasibility of such a scenario is low due to these multifaceted challenges. However, this thought experiment serves as a valuable lens through which we can evaluate the strengths and limitations of our current federal system, understanding that unity often brings strength, but diversity fosters innovation.